Hey friends, it's Drea. I'm back to my old angles. It just works so much better lighting wise, so I hope you like it. I just realized you can't see the top of my head. Alright, let's just get into this video. This is another pass or purchase. Basically, a whole bunch of new releases coming out constantly all the time. It's fun to kind of discuss them, plan buying them, maybe talk yourself out of buying them. That's kind of what this video is all about. Actually, I am going to change the angle because I need to show you the picture. Hold up. First, let's talk about this Tarte Trust or Fairy Dust collection. Guys, what is Tarte doing? I just don't get it. I feel like their brand is all over the place. They're going in one direction with mermaids, one direction with fairies, one direction with their rainforest of the sea stuff, and they have the shape tape. It's like there's no consistency, and I don't know what I'm going to get from them. So I feel like they're becoming a little bit more and more juvenile, and that's kind of what this branch of Tarte is this like really like, I would say, geared towards teenagers. I know there's a lot of us that still keep a sense of whimsy as we grow older. You know, you have a nostalgia attached to certain things, which is totally cool. But I just can't translate that into my makeup lately. And buying brushes that look like magic wands and, you know, a mascara that's existed forever but it's just repackaged in pink, I just don't get it. I just don't get spending my money on that kind of thing. If it's for you, that's cool, but it's definitely not for me. I think it's beautiful. It's always beautiful. They're always going to make it look good. That's how they get you, right? But if you actually look closely at the colors in the eyeshadow palette, they are... If it was packaged in a black palette, no one would buy it because you all own it already. And I know I own all these colors already as well. But besides the palette and the brushes, you've got, you know, an Amazonian clay blush that looks like every other pink neutral blush on the planet. It just has nice glittery packaging. And then you have the Lights Camera Lashes mascara, which if it's your holy grail and that's great, then buy it. But I'm not going to buy it just because it's pink and glittery. So moving on from this, let's actually talk quickly about another Tarte See the Change. So they have this See the Change Vault, which I am so like, this is where they get me because I love sea turtles. If you don't know that, I've talked about it before. There's at least like 6 sea turtles, just little tiny little things around this room somewhere. And I'm just obsessed. Like my phone background, I don't know how well you can see. I know there's icons all over it, but that is a sea turtle right there. Like, I'm just obsessed with sea turtles. So they came out with this vault. It's so adorable. It's a big old sea turtle and it's full of lip glosses. I want it so bad, but I only want it because it's a big old sea turtle. So I have to talk myself out of that. I know I'm not going to use all those glosses. In general, vaults, I'm just not on board with vaults from any company. I think if you love these products enough to want to buy like over $200 worth of them, you probably already own them. And if you don't own any of the products, you're probably not going to jump in by purchasing something that's that expensive, right? So the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. So I guess this is kind of like geared towards traveling. Of course, it just makes me think of Bruce Springsteen. But the palette itself really got me when I first saw the first images of it, mainly because there's so much variety of color. Now it's all kind of like dark toned color, so the purples and the greens are not bright and light. They're very kind of deep and rich. But there's just something about it that is calling to me. I like that there's some pinks in there too. I love that there's so much color in this palette, but there's so much neutral. So it just to me is very cohesive and it just looks really appealing. I could see it being a great palette going into fall. I don't think I would use it that much in the summertime. So, you know, Urban Decay always comes out with these limited edition palettes and they're great for the fact that they don't produce limited edition palettes in such small quantities that they sell out right away. So usually everybody can get their hands on it if they want it and they stay around for a while. But the thing about Urban Decay limited edition palettes is, you know, that they're eventually going to go on sale because they cycle through them so often and they do produce enough where it's just going to kind of stick around for a long time, long enough to go on sale. So with this palette, I am very interested in it. I do see myself buying it, but it's probably going to be down the road in the future when I can pick it up on a sale. Something else I'm kind of drooling over is the new Violet Voss Summer palette. I don't have the name of this yet. I think it has been released. If it is, I'll put it down here. but at the time that I screenshotted this, it was just like a first release promotional picture. You guys know this is right in my wheelhouse. This is all bright, summery, beautiful colors. You have pinks, you have blues, which I am warming up more and more and more to blue. You can tell today. I used it on my lower lash line. So those of you who think I never wear blue, I do sometimes. Anyways, there's like nice, beautiful tangerine colors in here. There's beautiful finishes. The swatches are to die for. So I'm super duper excited over this. Like, look at the golds. It just looks so yummy. I am going to run out and buy this. Like, I am setting aside money from a paycheck to buy this. There's also like a highlighter palette with a blush in it as well. That I'm not so much interested in. Oh, here it is. It looks like one of them is called the Glamingo. Oh, that's the face palette. Okay, so the eyeshadow palette is the Flamingo palette. Great name. And then the face palette is called Glamingo, which is kind of stupid because you're just going to trip over your tongue every time you try to say that. But I do love the Flamingo as a name. Anyway, I think it looks absolutely to die for, and I can't wait for it. Here's something I am just so hoping it's going to be great, but thinking it's not. So this is the ColourPop foundation release. Great on them for releasing the huge shade range that they're releasing, which is a huge concern nowadays. So it looks like they've covered so many bases here, which is amazing. However, I am just not on board yet with ColourPop face products. You guys know I love their pressed eyeshadows. They're just the bomb. But the concealer that I purchased last year was drying. It was thick. It was cakey. It didn't have a lot of coverage. The consistency, though, of that concealer does not, for me, bode well that the foundation is going to be amazing. So will I try it eventually? Yeah, eventually I'll place another huge ColourPop order, and I'll order a foundation and I'll test it for you guys, but I'm not running out for this one. Next thing from Manny, MUA, the Life's a Drag palette. Based on the swatches, they look really, really nice. For me though, like, these YouTuber releases, they usually aren't cheap, and I can understand why. It's because, you know, you have to produce it yourself. This is his own company. Amazing on him for going out and doing something beyond YouTube. I always think it's really cool when YouTubers do that, when they start an actual brand. Collabs are amazing too, but when you start your own brand, that is a whole different bag of monkeys. So Lunar Beauty, Life's a Drag, it looks beautiful, but for me, like, usually that means it's going to be a really high price point, especially when you factor in the Canadian exchange, importing it to Canada, the customs we have to pay. So I just don't see myself buying that. It's the kind of colors that are up my alley, but that I can find in something like that Violet Voss palette. So I just don't see myself buying that. All right, that's everything that I had for pass or purchase. There's one other thing I want to talk to you guys about, and that is the Kat Von D problem. This is something I know I have to address on this channel because I did take a position on it on Instagram, and it's a position that I believe in, and I don't ever see myself changing my mind, but it poses some problems. So if you don't know, Kat Von D has come out as an anti-vaxxer, which means that she does not believe in vaccinating her child. I believe she herself is vaccinated, and you have to be vaccinated to tattoo people in the state of California, which is what I have heard. I don't live there, so I don't know 100%, but that is what I've heard. I believe her pets are vaccinated. She doesn't want to vaccinate. She has said her reason is because vaccines are not vegan. And that's fine if you want to live a vegan lifestyle, but it becomes a point where you're not just making health and lifestyle choices for yourself. People who don't believe in vaccinating themselves or their children, they're making health choices for the public, for you. They're making health choices for your children. There are people in this world who cannot be vaccinated for medical reasons. Sometimes they're cancer patients, sometimes they have autoimmune diseases, and they rely on something called the herd immunity, which basically means the fact that, well, I'm in Canada. Let's just talk about North America. I don't know about Europe, but that North Americans in general are all vaccinated. It's part of our health system, especially here in Canada. You know, it's like different ages, you get different vaccines, and we have a little yellow card, and the doctor signs off on it that it's been done. You can't go to school here without producing that. this is herd immunity. It basically means that so many of us are now immune to these diseases that even if one person contracted it, it wouldn't spread because everybody else is vaccinated. Well, anti-vaxxers, I don't think that they're becoming more and more common, but I think that people just have such a huge voice on the internet now that it becomes something that's seen more often. And the people who are now choosing not to be vaccinated for whatever their reasons are, some people believe it causes autism, which there are many studies that prove it doesn't. But Kat Von D is doing it because she's vegan. I just don't understand. These people are dangerous. I'm just going to come out and say it. They're dangerous. They pose a problem to society in general. And if you don't agree with me, see you later, because I'm not changing my mind on this. You'll never change my mind on this. I could show you 100 different doctors who just came out in the last couple days, you know, talking about this. I could show you studies about this. I could show you kids now who are contracting these diseases that we have never seen in our lifetime because there are people who don't believe in vaccinating themselves. This is not just chickenpox, people. This is polio. This is smallpox. This is the measles. Like, have you seen the picture going around of one boy sitting next to the other boy and that one boy is just covered in smallpox? It is like one of the most disturbing, horrifying, sad things you're ever going to see in your life. And I can sit here and talk about it. You're going to have to go out there and look for yourself. I am not here to change the mind of people who are anti-vaccine, because I just don't think this is the right forum to do that. And so don't start arguing in my comments because I'm just going to delete them. Sorry. I'm not going to give you a voice on my channel. But in terms of Kat Von D, I own a lot of Kat Von D products. I love a lot of Kat Von D products, and I purchased them with my own money, and I'm going to continue to get some use out of them. I'm not going to throw them away. I hate that some brand owners can be a voice for their brand. Ultimately, I hope that she changes her mind and that I can go back to showing her products on my channel and like buying them and purchasing them in the future. As it stands now, here's my position. I'm not going to be buying any more Kat Von D products. I am going to use the stuff I own. And if you happen to see it, like in a Shop My Stash, I don't want to have to defend that because my stance is now out there. I absolutely in no way defend anything that woman is about when it comes to vaccinations. But if I decide to use one of my Studded Kiss lipsticks one day and I forget to take it off for a video, like I'm not going to go out of my way to use these products and to promote them on my channel, but if I happen to use one, I don't want to have to talk about that every time it happens. Or if I happen to, like it's in my makeup drawer in a Shop My Stash, I don't want to have to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because this is where I'm now making my position known. And if I am using up products that I purchased and spent my own money on, I'm going to do that. But like I said, I won't be promoting them in any videos. I won't be doing tutorials with them anymore. I will be trying not to actually have them on my face when I'm in a video, but I can't promise that that's going to be like 100% of the time. So that is where I stand on the Kat Von D problem. And it sucks that a brand that I love so much, I have to now not buy from. But that's just what I have to do. All right, this is what it comes down to. In your life, you have to take a position on something sometimes. Sometimes, a lot of the time, I say most of the time, I am usually in the middle and I can weigh something on this end and I could go, okay, here's where this person stands and now here's where this person stands. There's something usually in the middle of that. Even if it's a brand that's made a mistake or hasn't fully thought out, let's just use Tarte as an example with their shade range. They didn't fully consider society and the population who was using their products when they did that foundation launch. And a lot of people were upset about it, and I can understand that. Did I boycott Tarte? No. Because, you know, eventually they're going to come out with all those shades. And I can understand where those people were coming from that were upset. I can absolutely 100% understand that. But this is a brand who's going to make that change, you know, and I believe they did release other shades. So when somebody makes a change, or you can see them coming down the pipeline with a change based on a reaction, I'm not going to boycott something like that. But when it's somebody who is like made up their mind and they are the voice of something big, and they're promoting a dangerous lifestyle to people who maybe don't know any better, and let's be honest, there are a lot of ignorant people out in this world that aren't going to change, and they are followers and they're just going to follow blindly, that is dangerous. So that's kind of where I come down on this. Now, in life, we're allowed to change our minds. We're allowed to, you know, reevaluate things, and I know I'm like that a lot of the time. Sometimes you have a base reaction to something and then you change your mind a week later, even a day later, and you're like, oh, I didn't really consider this perspective on it. So of course I reserve the right to change my mind when it comes to anything. I hope Kat Von D changes her mind when it comes to vaccines. If it takes her losing followers and losing customers to do it, that's fine by me. If that's what it takes, I'd like for her to change, and then all will be good again, I guess. But I don't love extreme reactions. I really love things to be more balanced in life. And to me, this is more like, my reaction to it is more of a measured response as opposed to an extreme reaction. That's kind of where I'm coming from. I have a lot more thoughts circling in my mind about this, and maybe we'll revisit it, but for now I just felt like it really needed to be said on this channel before I could move forward, because this channel is all about makeup, and that's a big, huge brand that I've always talked about, and I feel like it really needed to be talked about, my response to it. So that's where I stand on it. Anti-vaxxers, you're not going to change my mind, so don't even try. And those of you who don't really know much about this issue, I would maybe just encourage you to look into it a little bit more, just so you know what these people are like and how to respond to them, and how to deal with them in your life. And if this little discussion makes you want to unsubscribe from my channel, I don't care. See you later. I don't care if you ever come back, really, because that's how much I care about this issue and how much these people are affecting society in such a terrible way that if you have anything to say to defend them, I never want to see you here again. And that's really what it comes down to. My channel is not very dramatic. It is today. I don't know what else to say about this, but the rest of you who are on board with vaccines, I love you guys, certainly do. I appreciate you, and I hope you're having a great day. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.